It is massively windy today. I mean, crazy windy. I've got bricks. I bought a better tarp. The last one I had ripped on me. So I've got all these bricks down here holding it down, and it's still dragging those bricks. I got it tied to trees. It's it's just more. When I went to Texas and to New Mexico and Utah and Arizona and all that, the one thing that I really couldn't stand was the wind. Oh, the wind just beats me down. Well, it followed me here. It has been just crazy windy here, which really isn't what I want to talk about today. So as you know, I've started a new channel, and I'll put a link at the end of this channel, or at the end of this video, in that up next box. And so I've been doing these services, you know, 50-hour services and things. And the first thing I want to explain is how do you identify a troll. A troll may ask what seems to be a legitimate question, but for some reason, after 8 years being on YouTube, I can just sense when it is a troll. I just can sense it. It's like a gut feeling. I know that's a troll. I think what typically happens is if I feel my aggravation level getting higher, I think that's what triggers it. That's got to be a troll. And so then I go and after I type out whatever I was going to say, I think, you know, I should check to see if this is a troll. And so you go and look, and the account was created today. That is a huge indication it's a troll. That they just created the account. You've never seen their name before, or just within the last few days. The other thing is, it's quite obvious, is you all of a sudden get an influx of subscriptions, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it is, or you lose a few. Either way, you know that's, and they've asked a question that's like, oh, come on, give me a break. And so then you just look, and sure enough, it's a troll. That being said, the thing that bothers me is people's gullibility. There is a female YouTuber out there who does lawnmower repair, and she's fairly good at it. But the thing is she likes to sell product on her YouTube channel. And so you go down to the description and you'll see all the things she wants to sell. And I have no problem with that, especially when she's explicit as to I'm selling this. I have no problem with that. I've considered selling things. As a matter of fact, HIPAA Carburetor has contacted me. Now I won't ever sell anything on this channel, but HIPAA Carburetor, or HIPAA Parts, aftermarket parts, has contacted me, and I've replied back. Now they haven't gotten back with me, so I don't know where we're at with this. But I would like, if they want to, for me to sponsor them, or do they, however you would look at that, today's sponsor, whatever you call that, I would like to work with them. I like their carburetors. It's so I don't have a problem with it. But I don't like when people, whether it's her or anybody, kind of implies that if you do anything else, you're going to damage your equipment. And she's done several things like this. First thing she's always said is aftermarket carburetors are junk, they don't work. A lot of them actually say that. But I've never had a problem with them. As a matter of fact, I just did an aftermarket one today. It worked good. It works great. Worked better than the one that was on it. So I just never agreed with it. So I use aftermarket. And I stay aware that, hey, there could be a problem with it. But they absolutely refuse. Well, recently she said, oh no, they're all bad except HIPAA. Which I agree, HIPAA's pretty good. But why did she change her mind? Well, now I know why she changed her mind. HIPAA's going around wanting people to, you know, to advertise their product. Now, I get it now. So yeah, she's probably getting a little kickback from it. Again, I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. Just be honest. I'm being sponsored. That way, people can make informed decisions. But one of the things that she has said that I've heard no one else ever say is you have to use lawnmower oil, engine oil, only. You can't use automotive oil. First time she said that, I thought, wait a minute, that can't be true. You're telling me that engines on lawnmowers are more precision and more special and require higher quality engine oil than a car? I know just recently I worked on my car, and it's got that variable valve timing thing, and I'm telling you, that is some precision stuff there. The least little bit of misalignment and you're having to change the oil or change the, something. As a matter of fact, it is so important that you use the correct oil in a vehicle that you will get an engine light and a code telling you had the wrong oil in it, and it will show up almost instantly after you put it in. So it's really important you have really good oil in your engine on your car, but that oil is not good enough for lawnmowers. And they say you have to have oil that has zinc in it, because as it heats up and the valves are running up against the camshafts, and they're going to wear out because it doesn't have zinc, and zinc provides extra coating. Okay, maybe in the 1970s that was true. I'll even say 1980s. But all you got to do is look up the quality of oil nowadays, and even the cheap stuff at Walmart exceeds the quality recommended for your vehicles, much less your lawnmowers. So the gullibility of people telling you, you got to have this special oil or otherwise you're going to crash your engine. Well, let me get the John Deere owner's manual, and it says, gives you all the SA 1540 and what temperatures that's supposed to be at. I always use 10W30, gives you a good temperature range. It's not too thick. So, but then you read down here, the following John Deere oils are preferred. John Deere oils, doesn't say anything about zinc. It says John Deere Turf, John Deere Plus, John Deere Plus 50. Then it says other oils may be used if the above John Deere oils are not available, provided they meet the following specifications: API service classification SJ or higher. So you Google it, and the oil at Walmart, the cheap stuff, meets the requirements, actually higher than SJ. So it's just a bunch of bogus information. They don't even look at the owner's manual. They don't Google. They just take somebody's word for it, and then they come over to your channel and say, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna ruin that engine," and they act like they're the expert. They don't actually give credit to the person who actually told them this. So you can Google it, and it'll say, and the AI always comes up, of course, yes, you must use zinc. Well, yeah, you must use zinc because some blog saying you got to use zinc. So just follow your owner's manual and you'll be fine. But the thing about these trolls is, I click it, and sure enough, he's created an account today telling me that, I'm a dummy. This is how society has gotten. They want everybody to be wrong, and they want you to be right, or they want to be right. They want attention, and it doesn't matter what kind of attention they get. They just want attention. They want me to reply. They want you to reply. They want somebody to reply and say something. And then they'll argue with you. It doesn't matter if you agree with them. It doesn't matter if you disagree with them. They will find some way to call you an idiot. And it's absolutely incredible how they do it. They know they're trolling you. And then as soon as you reply, they pretend like they're not trolls, and they're the victim when you retaliate. So, I don't know, it just aggravated me today. So I guess in my future videos, I will start saying, follow your owner's manual's recommendation for oil. That way I don't have to put up with this junk that, you gotta have special oil. Another thing that they love to call out is you got to use gasoline on 2-cycle engines when you test it instead of starting fluid. You're going to tear up that cylinder. No, you're not. Oil will not dissipate from the cylinder and the rings and all that fast. The only thing you're doing when you're testing for 2 cycles when you're trying to start it is, will it pop off? That's all you're trying to do. You don't have to put 2-cycle gasoline in it to see if it's going to pop off. Now, if you're trying to run it off starting fluid for more than a second, then yeah, you probably should, use some sort of gasoline. But again, see what happens is mechanics don't follow the current science. It'd be like going to the doctor that learned how to be a doctor back in the 50s. There was different information back then. Technology changes, and over time things change. And so these mechanics, they learn from their fathers and grandfathers how to work on engines, and they've learned, oh, you got to have zinc, from their grandpa. They learned that back then, or their dad. So they continue to think, nope, you got to have zinc. But all you got to do is read the manual. You got to understand what SJ oil or higher is, and I've read all that. I stay on top of it. In order to be a good doctor, a good scientist, a good mechanic, you got to stay on top of it. Can you imagine a mechanic from the 1970s working on a modern day engine? They wouldn't be able to do it. They can't do it. What the heck is a variable valve timing? What is that? Even I got to have a computer to figure out what's wrong with my engine? Yeah, I thought I could just, you know, put some starting fluid in and see if it'll pop off. So, first of all, if you're being told something that sounds, let me think about this for a minute. I mean, it just, so, I mean, I'm sure I've said this in the video already once, but you're telling me that a lawnmower engine is more critical than a car engine. I mean, we're not building spaceships. You know, when you adjust a valve, I always adjust it 4 to 6 thousandths. But you don't have to. I mean, if you're off by thousandths, it's no big deal. It might burn a little bit more gas or something. You're not going to notice. I mean, are you really trying to calculate gas mileage? Is your Cadillac converter going to go out? No, none of that's going to happen. It's a lawnmower. When I make a video, I do my darndest to ensure that what I'm saying is correct. I don't give opinions. I don't give advice. I just show you how to do it. If you want to use zinc, by all means, use zinc. That's up to you. So if you'll click this up next box, it will take you over to my other channel. So I hope I can inspire you to think thoroughly so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.